Hello and welcome to Life with Jane. Oh, what a week. What a week we've had. First of all, this is going to be a bit of a vlog, so stay tuned because you're going to see how the garden's progressing, particularly what's happening in the greenhouse. So quite exciting on that. And also the English paper pieced quilts that I've been making. We're now in the exciting stage of how I put the batting and the backing on it, and I'm now starting the hand stitching of all of that. And there's a bit of a tip and technique to doing this that is the first time I'm doing the quilt. So stay for that bit because I show you a little bit about that as well. So what's been happening this week? We've had as a family a bit of a nightmare. My middle grandson, who's just finished his first year of A levels, has a local job and cycles to that job. But because he's now broken up for the summer holidays, it means that he can do extra shifts and things. And there was a shift that was, I think it was starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So he was cycling in the rush hour. Very sensibly had to cross one lane into the other, put his arm out, went to cross across, and a car knocked him. And the driver of the car said that he looked and saw, my grandson fall underneath the car and thought, oh my goodness, I've killed him. As it was, he got up and was okay, was all right. Some nasty little cuts and things that he had to go to accident and emergency. But luckily it was at the bottom of my road, literally a 3-minute walk. So my daughter-in-law called me. I ran down the road, ran across. He was in the local vet surgery because they'd obviously seen what had happened and had taken him in. Shaking a lot because obviously adrenaline runs through your body. But I took his bicycle back. My son had raced down in the car and took him up to the hospital to be checked over. Thankfully, nothing broken. Just some nasty, as I say, some nasty cuts on his hands and the tops of his fingers and stuff, which will heal fairly quickly. Didn't need stitches or anything, was just more of a grazing that takes the skin off when you fall and come off your bicycle. But thankfully all right. And it happened to be as well my daughter-in-law's 40th birthday. So not only did she have the start of her 40th, but she had all of this going on during the day as well. She popped round and had a cup of coffee and I was able to pick the bike up later on in the day once she knew that he was all right. And like everything, the hospitals are so busy. He was waiting in casualty or accident emergency for 4 hours. Yes, okay, it wasn't an emergency, but it just shows how busy they are. A young lad, obviously in discomfort, and when you go down on the road, you've got road dirt and tarmac and gravel and goodness knows what else that needed flushing out. So, it's a situation in this day and age, isn't it, that, you have to be prepared to wait quite a while at the hospital. But because it was a road accident, he needed to do that. The chap that hit him, as I say, was a lovely chap and stayed with him all the time. And, accidents happen, and it was one of those things. He didn't see him. And my son in reality, or my grandson in reality, had put his arm out and had checked once but hadn't checked again before he moved across. So, very difficult situation, but thankfully everybody all right. So that was the drama to start the week. The rest of the week, fingers crossed, will be absolutely fine. I went to a specific group where the teacher of one of the other craft groups I go to, who is a very experienced quilter, helped me to start using a pool noodle of all things to start finishing off my quilts, to be able to do the stitching, hand stitching, which is going to take me quite a long time, of the quilt now that it's actually quilted, to put the quilt and the wadding and then the backing of it all on, sandwiched together, and then has to be stitched across. So I will show you that at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. The middle part of the video, I'm going to show you all about my garden and how my greenhouse, as you know, I was plagued with slugs and snails and puppy dog's tails, you know, slugs and snails literally eating absolutely everything. But have a look and see how it's turned out. I'm really delighted, and it's coming along really well now, and I'm starting to pick, so stay tuned for that. The other thing that that you're going to see this week on the Saturday video is the weather here has been so hot. We're at 27, 28, 29, 30, early 30s, which is really, so late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, which is very, very hot for a country that we don't have air conditioning and we're just not set up for it. So putting the oven on to cook can be a bit of a no-go. However, if you want cupcakes and you fancy something really sweet, watch the recipe on Saturday, because no oven involved, but they're cooked. And not using an air fryer, not using a microwave. So stay tuned for that one and see how I do those, and they turn out beautifully and are really delicious, and you can change the flavourings up as well. So that's a good one to watch on Saturday. The other thing that I did this week, hence the video being later this week because I've been so busy, was I became a member of the U3A. Now, U3A stands for the University of the Third Age. So anybody who is retirement age, coming up for retirement age, so from sort of, I would say 55, 60 onwards, as long as you're not in full-time employment, so you are retired, you can join or become a member of something called the U3A, which, as I say, is the university. I have to keep looking it up because I think it's brilliant. The University of the Third Age, because the third age is obviously your retirement. And there are 60 different groups that you can join, and everything from architecture, history, astronomy, through to yoga, and sort of anywhere in between. And they do theatre trips, they do trips to London, they do all sorts of other trips, and it is, for anybody who's local, it is, the membership is £50 a year. So basically we've got 52 weeks in a year, so if you did something every week apart from 2 weeks, it's £1 a week. So £1 a week is nothing these days. And then everything is free, apart from obviously if you do your theatre trips and stuff, you have to pay for a subsidised amount. So you have to pay for the theatre ticket and then obviously part of the transport. But it's a great idea for socialising, meeting people, and also educating yourself a little bit, doing something that's fun. So I've joined a whole pile of different things. I will tell you more about them as the time goes by, and once I've done one or two, let you know how it is. But if you want to join, go on to the U3A website, and it doesn't matter where you are. So they have groups across the country, and I believe it's international, so they might have it across the world as well. And have a look and see where your local group is and see if you can join. They tend to run from September onwards, so the enrolments and things are around now because a lot of the classes fill up quickly. So yeah, have a go, see what you think. So stay tuned for all the other bits that are coming up, and hope you enjoy them, and we'll see you again soon. Hello, so I thought I would do an update of the quilt. I'm very lucky because I am part of a craft cafe that I go to on a weekly basis, and the teacher there is does a lot of quilting. As you know, this is my first quilt, which is an English paper pieced quilt, so it's all hand done. And I wanted to do the batting and the backing and the stitching of the actual quilt onto everything by hand as well. So this is the setup. I've got, so that's my sheet at the back. Then you've got, so that's the sheet at the back. Sorry, you can't see on there. That's the batting. And that's the quilt. As you can see, the quilt on top here. I've put it out on my dining room table now that we've done it, and it is wrapped, if you look on here, it is wrapped with inside a pool noodle. So it's all pinned, so you can see I've got the, well, hopefully you can see all the pins and things on there. Which is really rather good, and I'm going to show you a close-up of it in a minute, but I wanted you to see that it, I've also got a piece of slate in underneath here, so you can see as I'm moving it across. So this is a piece of slate, or marble rather. It's a marble, probably see on here, it's just a piece of, move it down so you can see a bit better. Right, it's a piece of marble, and I can put this on here, so then when I am sewing across, it will go right the way through and make it easier to work with. I've got a pair of pliers, because sometimes right on the corner pieces it's quite difficult to pull it through, and I'm using double thread so that it's easier and stronger, because I don't want to use, this is cotton thread, I don't want to use polyester. I don't like plastic, and I try not to use it at all, so that's why I'm doing it with double cotton, so that it'll be stronger. As I say, it's all pinned down. The cardboard is still in on the edge pieces, because I think I'm going to tuck them in flat, and then obviously, so if I tuck that one in like that, and then when I come to do the edging, it will all be even. Or I might keep that you know, pointy zigzag part at the top and work with that. Don't know yet, but I'm going to take you off the camera and turn you round so you can actually see it closer. I just wanted you to see a panoramic of the whole of the pool noodle, and then I can show you it in a little bit closer detail in a moment. Hello, right, so I'm trying to get a little bit closer. You can see where the pins are, and the pins are done every sort of 4 all the way down and then sort of all the way up, so it's pinned quite well. This is the pool noodle. Now I will show you from the other side, because it's very, very difficult to get it really nice and tight. We spent 2 weeks of several hours, and it's pretty good. If I turn and come round to the end, you can actually see, hopefully, if I go in like that, you can see where it's all sort of wrapped round. On the inside of it is the pool noodle, and it's as tight as I can get it on there, but the idea is that you, as you go along, you smooth it. So on here you smooth, let's bring it down on here so you can see, you smooth it down so that you get it nice and smooth, and then you work your stitching along. So if you look on the underneath, it's going to have, there we go, it's going to have a zigzag stitch, and it's a running stitch all the way through. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a, so down on here, I'm doing a running stitch all the way through, up and down on these bits, and then I will come back and fill in the running stitch so it is a continuous stitch. So that's the running, you can see it's a running stitch on there. But if I come down to this bit, this is where it's starting to be a continuous stitch. So I'm going running stitch all the way one way, back the other way to bring it through. Now I could do a back stitch, but because it's quite a lot of layers to go through, so if you look at it, it's quite a thick amount to go through. When you put your needle in, you have to rock it, but you can't get a tiny weeny little stitch because otherwise you don't get it right the way through. So I've been playing around with it a little bit, and that's the easiest way I think I'm going to do it. So these have obviously still got their backs in, because I'm keeping those in place until we finished it. And as I say, my thread's a double thread, which you can see on there, because I want to be able to have it as strong as possible. And as I say, I don't want to use a polyester cotton. So that's where it is at the moment. It's going to take me quite a while to do it, but I'm up for the challenge. And sitting at the table, having this, what do you call it, hard piece of marble underneath, means that I've got something really sort of firm to go through. I was trying to do it on the table, which is obviously a wooden table, but it's very difficult. You don't get as much leverage to come through. So that's it now. I shall come back and give you a distance view so you can see, and that's where it is at the moment. I've only just started it, so we'll have to see over the next few weeks how it progresses, and I will let you know. So that's the end of this one, and if I don't add anything more on the end, as always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye. Hello everyone, look at these bees, look. I'm just going to leave it on here just for a minute, because I think I've got probably 40, 50 odd bees on the lavender. Coming in, look, just get a bit closer than you can see, but they are just everywhere. Maybe 20, 30, 40 of them. Just absolutely everywhere. You can hear them as well. And then we're going to go back so you can see the hydrangea. How about that? Completely in bloom. Just beautiful now. Absolutely beautiful. And then if I come round this way, you can see this is a Calla lily. So that's looking really spectacular now as well. Watered it a lot, so it stays nice. But then, look, That's what so much sunshine does. Look how dry, really, really dry my lawn is. It's just completely dead. It will come back, but it's not very good at the moment. Really, really, really dead. So, right, if you look there, I'm training my grapevine to come up over the arch. So, if I walk down here, you should be able to see that it's coming up quite nicely now. See, right up the top? It grows so quickly at this time of year, which is pretty good. And then if I turn round, my apples still, no June drop. Can we see those? Look at those. Not very big at the moment because it's very dry, but probably the best crop I've had on this little apple tree. So that should give me lots and lots of lovely apples. But yes, there's my grapevine. So I'm trailing it to go back up on here. And it's right to there at the top now, so it's got to come down on there. And going across, that's my, it's called a staghorn sumac, because if you see those big pieces, the flowers that come up, they look like stag's horns. That's why it's called a staghorn. But again, looking really beautiful now. So we're going to come up through just up on the step, and lots of weeding to do here, but it's just been, whoops, too hot for me to do that. And raspberries, still picking them. So I've been picking them now every day for 2-3 weeks now. And again, another picking this morning, haven't done it yet, so you can see. There's a little, is that a wasp actually on there this time? Unusual. So coming round, we're going to have a look into, hope I don't make you dizzy going round like that, greenhouse. Now, spectacular. We're going to come in and see, that's how tall my tomatoes have come. Now, I've cleaned and cleared and swept the floor of the greenhouse right down through there, apart from that bit there that I've got some compost, because I'm going to put get some more compost today in on this bit here. So I've got a little trough that I've moved in. I'm going to put some lettuce in there, I think. I keep them in because I have so many insects and stuff in my garden that just munch and eat everything, that at least they're a little bit protected in the greenhouse. So they are now, as I say, up to, so I'm 5'4", so they're approaching 5 foot now. So probably the highest I'll let them go, I'll start pinching them out, but you can see, you'll have to excuse the noises of builders and stuff, but you can see where we're getting tomatoes and things starting to, let me come down on this one, here we go. You can see on there, that's a little one coming. They're all starting to come, which is good. So they're a bit late because obviously I had them massacred by slugs and snails and puppy dog's tails, and no, slugs and snails. But this is my courgette. So I didn't need to do more than one because it's just going beautifully. And if we have a little look down in on here, so I'm going to take you down on through here, through. You can see I have, can I get you in there so you can see? There we go. There's a courgette that's coming on that bit. Hopefully you can see that in there. There's another one there. So there's 2 coming on there. And I've already been picking, come up on this bit so you can see in here a bit, through the leaf. Oh, through another leaf. There's more courgettes in there. You can see where I picked one. There's another one behind it that's coming. So lots and lots of courgettes on my courgette plant, which is fabulous, and tomatoes to come, which is good. My green bean is it's basically not going to produce anything, I don't think. So that really just didn't do successfully at all. And I can't grow them outside because they just get covered in black and green fly and things like that. I'll show you down quickly. If I just come back down the garden onto my poor grass. But as I say, you can't, we're in a drought situation now where it is not worth, my dog's toys on the garden, it's not, we can't use water freely at the moment. We have to be careful. So I have my watering can and I use a watering can, but I can't use a hose now. So but if you have a look, this is my willow. So my willow is now right up there. Excuse the scaffolding on my neighbour's stuff, they're going to have work done. But if I come down on here, you can see, hopefully I'm just going to bring, there we go, right. So if I come in onto this one, can you see all the green fly on there? So if I try and grow beans and things, they get absolutely, it's quite funny because there's an ant there that's feeding off them, or they harvest them, don't they? But yeah, covered in green fly. And I don't know whether it comes, it's not really focusing very well, but it's absolutely covered just on the tops of the leaves, not down at the bottom, just up at the top. So that's why I don't grow beans and things outside, because they just aren't very successful. But hopefully that's given you a bit of an update. So as always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.